Tommy Robinson's appeal today on the 11th of April 2025 has been adjourned. So no win, no loss. It has been adjourned. We don't know a date when they're going to make their decision. We were hoping it was going to be today. We were hoping that he was going to get some justice, win the appeal, get a reduced sentence, even get to an open prison, or even be out on tag. But yeah, we're going to hear nothing today. So yeah, that's been adjourned, and it was based on new evidence of ADHD for Tommy Robinson. Basically, Williamson's KC, who was representing Tommy Robinson, he jumped up to mention that he's not going to get better unless he's released. So I'm just going to read those point notes here. Williamson says his mental health should have been brought to the sentencing judge's attention. It's evidence that Tommy and his family didn't realise he had a mental health illness, ADHD. So they didn't realise. And as that is fresh evidence, Williamson has made an application, put that to the judges to hear that fresh evidence of ADHD. And if ADHD would have given him a reduced sentence or a lighter sentence to begin with. The government barrister basically said that, well, he already had a 6-month reduction in the sentence, but that was nothing to do with the ADHD. This is new, fresh evidence that he has ADHD. So that is the main reason that they're adjourning this case, because the judges now need to see this fresh evidence, come to a conclusion, and to see if they can do anything, reduce sentence, etc., based on that new evidence. Williamson had said even if an adjournment had been obtained before sentencing, it may not have been discovered. So, and that concluded at 11:43 a.m. There were 3 judges. Tommy's barrister was Alasdair Williamson KC, who had mentioned that someone who has a deterioration of health who can apply for clemency or early release. Court needs to examine the deterioration of Tommy's health, that he suffers ADHD, which is fresh evidence, and that he suffers PTSD. Eardley, who was the opposition, telling the judges that Tommy's prison condition... Tommy stood up at one point. He waved at the camera to disagree with what Eardley was saying about his conditions in prison. And the judges decided to see it and ignore it and move on, which they had said themselves. Apparently his telephone time was reduced from 10 hours to 2 hours. And the reason for that is because people were recording his calls. As you might remember, there were videos online where his telephone calls had been released in the early days. So that was reduced from 10 hours to 2 hours because of that. But that was not Tommy's fault. If people are recording that conversation, that's not Tommy's fault. That's the person who's recording. So it shouldn't have affected Tommy. I think that's what they were trying to fight the fact. And that's true. Yeah, Tommy can't help who's recording the phone calls and who's not. Yeah, they tried to fight that battle as well. They also said that the 2 hours given were at inappropriate times. Tommy had said when the kids were at school or friends and family were at work, that's when he had his 2 hours of reduction of telephone calls. So he couldn't call his kids or call his family, which again is where people say about, being a bit mental torture. But it kind of is, because if, they reduce it from 10 to 2 and he can't even contact his kids and his missus or, family, then yeah, that's going to be torture for him. No contact with your family. It's hard enough in there as it is. You need your family to pull you through. So that was those points that were made. Eardley also referred to a case about prisoners' health deteriorating while in custody. Says that the appeal court can interfere as an act of mercy in an exceptional case. Eardley also said that the prison can treat Tommy's health issues just fine. There's no evidence that this is so bad that it can't be managed in prison. Well, many of you will probably disagree, because it's not being managed in prison. As we know, Tommy is suffering, and he's suffering badly. And that's the whole point of these appeals, is to try and put an end to his suffering. The longer this goes on, the more suffering he's gonna have. So like I say, we don't have a new date. It might be a week's time when we hear more. I'll bring out an update and I'll let you know. Eardley also said that Tommy had made a choice to plead guilty and to proceed straight to sentencing with limited evidence counsel put before the court. As in, Tommy should have raised mental health issues before sentencing. Tommy's mental health could have been assessed back then, but then if the ADHD is new evidence and fresh evidence, that is why it was not assessed back then or put forward. So that is what they're now putting to the courts to try and, get this overturned based on the new evidence, and that's why they need this time to go assess. Yeah, of course, the opposition was also saying that the court should not interfere with the lower court sentence, which is bull, isn't it? I mean, they should interfere because we want free Tommy, we want justice, we want him to be better mentally and physically. We know his mental health is deteriorating badly, so just got to keep fighting the battle. And that was it. So the application by Williamson KC is to the judges and the court to accept the fresh evidence on ADHD and then come to a conclusion based on that evidence, and then we'll get a decision. But for now, they've adjourned it to go away and assess. So that is the update. Tommy Robinson trial, it's been adjourned. So next time I get any updates, I'll bring it here on Real British Media. Please like and subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, share it around, and yeah, look out for more updates in the future. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you again real soon. Take care, everyone, and bye for now. And free Tommy, free him.